Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a wrap up of all the books I read in September. I read quite a few this month, so without further ado, let's just hop into them. So I didn't read a ton of physical copy books this month. I mainly I read a lot of books on my Kindle this month. So I did read 20 books in total, and I started off the month finishing up two that had started in August but ended up finishing in September. So the first is The No-Show by Beth O'Leary. I didn't like this book until about, I want to say like 80% or 75% of the way through this book, because I was just like, I don't get what the hype is. None of these characters are likable. I don't know. I just like it took me a long time to get into the book. I felt like it was very slow paced, but I will say that twist ending made up for a big part of like the slow beginning. I did not see it coming at all. I was like, the plot twist in this is actually phenomenal. Anyways, I don't know, but because it took me so long and for like 80% of it, I was just like not really into the book. I gave it a 3.75, but I think that a lot of people would really like this, so I probably would recommend it to others. Next, I continued my reading of the Zodiac Academy world with, I started The Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac this month, and I absolutely loved this series. For the first book, which was Dark Fae, I gave it a 4.25 out of a 4.25 star, just because I did find it a bit slow, and like it's the first book. I know that like it just had a lot of world building and a lot of like introducing of characters and things like that, so I found it pretty slow, but I knew based on Zodiac Academy, the books I have read, that was just set up for a whole amazing world. But I did really enjoy it still, so I gave it 4.25 stars. Then I listened to the audiobook called Ace, What Asexuality Reveals About Desire, Society, and Meaning of Sex. I read a book over the summer, a romance book about with asexual characters, and I just wanted to learn a bit more about it. I've been wanting to read more nonfiction books too, like just sprinkle them in here and there, but I only listen to them really on audiobook because I can't sit through and read a nonfiction book, so I listened to this on audiobook and I really liked it. All sort of nonfiction that have like memoir elements, so like this was a compilation of a lot of people's stories. It was in the authors as well, so whenever books do that, I always give them 5 stars, or I don't rate them at all if I didn't particularly like find it useful or whatever. I will just not rate it at all, but for the most part, I usually just give it 5 stars because like I'm not here to judge someone's story. I'm not trying to do any of that. So but I really did enjoy the story. I really did enjoy the book. I thought it was really interesting, and I thought I learned a lot from it. So anyways, 5 stars. And then I read Savage Fae, which is the second book in the Ruthless Boys series, and I didn't like this one as much as the first one. I found it even slower, surprisingly, than the first one. But I mean, I really like the characters. I think I like this series more than I like Zodiac, like the actual Zodiac Academy series. I don't know, I just really like the characters a lot more. And then I read the third book. So all these books are like over 500 pages, and I read them so quick because I am just addicted to this world that they have built, that Suzanne Valenti and Carolyn Peckham, I think people on TikTok call them the Twisted Sisters. I absolutely love their writing. I just think it's so much fun. It's just like, it's a world that you can get lost into. So if you're looking for something that's going to just like suck you in, I really recommend reading these. I actually want to say that I recommend reading. I think the reading order that I'm reading it in is actually perfect because you're not spoiling anything for yourself, but you're still like seeing how it all interconnects, all the characters and stuff like that. So then I read the third one, which is Vicious Fae, and I gave that one 4.5 stars because it was But the plot twist at the end is, oh, I am so excited to read the fourth one. I'm planning on reading it in October, and I'm so excited to see what happens because I don't know how where it goes from that ending. It was crazy. Yeah, so I really liked it. 4.5 stars. I just like know that it's just gonna get better. Then I listened to A Matter of Class on audiobook. This is just a short, like, historical romance, and for a lot of it, I honestly was kind of bored. If it was any longer, I really don't think I would have enjoyed it. But the plot twist at the end, I didn't see coming, and I thought it was cute. I didn't think it was anything special, but I thought it was really cute, so I gave it 3.5 stars. And then I started the Miles Family series by Claire Kingsley. I was really on a kick of Kindle, on my Kindle kick, so I read the first one, and I did like it, but it was definitely slow paced. It was like a slow burn, sort of. And I do think there was like, it had the miscommunication trope, which I really am not just like, I'm not really a huge fan of, especially when it's dual POV, which this one was. But I did really enjoy it. I liked their story. It was a second chance romance. And their story was really cute. So I gave it 4.25 stars. I don't know. I think that I read it really quick and I enjoyed the character. I'm excited to read about the rest of the Miles family and get to read their stories because I think that they might be a little more interesting because the characters were a little more interesting than the male main character in this one, but I'm very excited. And then I listened to If I Never Met You by Mari McFlaren. I think that's how you say it. I listened to this on audiobook, and honestly, I think this book might be one of the most underrated books that I have ever read. I've never heard anyone talk about this, but it was so good. The only problem I had is that I didn't really find there was like a crazy amount of chemistry between the female main character and the male main character. I just felt like they were more friends, like it felt more friendly when I was listening to it, but the story and the like story arc that the female main character goes on is just amazing, and it actually like so close to home, I feel like. So I just really liked it. And then I listened to Better Than the Movies on audiobook, and I can see where the hype is because even though it's a YA, it's like, it's so cute, and I loved all the like rom-com movie like little hints and like how much she loved rom-coms. I just thought it was so cute, and I'm not sure how to get a hold of the like the Lynn Painter came out with like a little novella called After the Prom that comes after this, and I don't know how to get a hold of this book, but I really want to because I really liked the story. I give it 4.75 stars. There was just something missing, and I don't know how else to describe this except there's just something missing. Then I read The Birthday List by Daphne Perry. This book is so sad. I was crying within the first, I think, like 50 pages. Like I was crying like right away. It's definitely a very sad story. It follows Poppy and Cole. Poppy loses her husband, who had created a birthday list, and she's crossing off all of the items on the birthday list when she meets Cole, as she's like one of the list items is to take her karate class, and that's when she meets Cole, who is actually also the police officer who told her that her husband died in a tragic shooting. So, and he's investigating the murder, and like I think this is quite a few years later. I can't remember exactly how many years, but it's quite a few years later, and he finds out like that the police officer assigned to the case hadn't really been doing a good job at following up with leads and things like that. So he takes over the case, and it's got the thing I love most about Daphne Perry's writing is that they are almost always like romantic suspense books, which means they like have like a mystery element to them, and I really like it. I find it just keeps you more engaged because like there's almost two stories in one. But this is so cute. It's so sad. I just found the ending kind of unnecessary, like some of the ending unnecessary, and I don't know, I got a little mad at the characters at the end, so I ended up giving it a 4.5 stars because of that, but I really did enjoy this. Like, I would really recommend this book. And then I started another series by Daphne Perry. It's the Jameson Valley series. This one's the Coppersmith Farmhouse. I bought all the special edition covers of this book because they're absolutely stunning. I will say, I actively disliked the main male character in this book until probably like 75% of the way through. Then I still wasn't like a huge fan of him, but like I sort of saw where he was coming from. But he, like, honestly, the red flags at the beginning of this book, I almost TNF'd it because I was just so annoyed by this guy. He was just telling her what to do. So just like warning about that. He is kind of the worst for a lot of the book, and she doesn't stick up for herself, which I also didn't like. So I don't know. I gave this, I think, 3.75 stars. Yeah, 3.75 stars, because I did end up liking the characters at the end, but like I really actively disliked both of them for a big part of the book. So then I continued with the Zodiac Academy again, and I read Shadow Princess, which is the fourth in the Zodiac Academy series, and I think this was my favorite book in the series so far. I give it 4.5 stars. This one, I was very mad at Tori. I honestly, like, I'm 100% team Darcy. Like, anybody who likes Tori more than Darcy, like, I just don't understand you. I don't get it. I love Tori and Lance so much with all my heart. I just want them to have a happy ending so bad. But I really liked this book. I feel like there was a lot of plot development, a lot of character development. You learn a lot about like the world and mates and things like that in this book, so which is really cool. So I gave it 4.5 stars. I just like am waiting for like one of the books to just like absolutely blow my mind, because I think I called the plot twist at the end of this one, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I'm just waiting for something to just absolutely blow my mind and give it like a 5 stars. Then I read The Honey Don't List by Christina Lauren. This one is definitely not one of my favorite Christina Lauren books I've ever read. I still liked it. I thought the characters were cute. I got annoyed with the characters though. Just like, I feel like there was a big miscommunication trope in this one, if I remember correctly. I'm not very good at remembering. I need to start writing things down as I read these as to why I'm giving them certain stars, because a lot of the times it's just like a gut feeling at the end of when I'm done reading. But anyways, I gave it 3.75 stars because it's still really cute. I still really enjoyed it. I will never read it again, and I think there's so many better Christina Lauren books out there that I would probably recommend one of those instead. And then I read the second book in the Back on Top series called In Rhythm by J.N. Welsh. This one I did not like as much as the first book in the series. I just didn't like the characters as much. I really was getting annoyed with the female main character because she just like, I know she had a lot of trust issues, but I was just like, but you have to give him a chance. And like, she ends up like there's like a last, it's sort of a little twist because usually it's the main male character who's like, I need to break up with you for your own good kind of thing. Like, that's usually the main male character who does that. But it was the female main character who did this, so it had that breakup, which I didn't like. And I was just getting frustrated with her throughout the book because I was like, give him a chance, but she just like would not. So, and I understand why, but it was just frustrating because I knew that they were going to end up together in the end. But yeah. So I gave it 3.75 stars. But I do recommend this series. I think it's very underrated, and I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about it, but it is really well written and really interesting, because I know nothing about the EDM world, but it's very interesting. Okay, and then I started another series on my Kindle. I started the Becker Brothers. So the first book is On the Rocks. The series is by Candy Steiner, and I really liked this book. I thought it was cute. I just didn't think it was anything like overly special. I have read other books by Candy Steiner that I liked a lot more, and also I thought the ending was unnecessary. I thought it was like, because they end up breaking up for a reason, and like that reason never changes. They just end up getting together. So I just like it just felt like incomplete, or that there was no point to even breaking up. So yeah, so I gave it 4 stars. Cute. I really enjoyed it, but not anything so special. And then I continued back into my Zodiac Academy series with reading the 5th one, Cursed Faith. This one again, I really liked. I am so mad though for Tori and Lance. I know that they like to rip us apart to build us back up, but I am so mad. I'm just like, I honestly don't know if I want to keep reading because I want them to get their happy ending, but I'm just so mad at the fact at Lance. I'm mad at the fact that this is all happening to them because they were the best characters, and I just love them. So I gave this 4.5 stars because I was upset. But I think it probably deserved 5 stars, but I was just upset about them doing that to me, so I gave it 4.5 stars. Then I read See You Yesterday by Rachel Lynn Solomon. This one was actually on my October TBR, but I ended up reading it as soon as I finished filming that video, which was a couple of days before the end of September. So, because I just like love Rachel Lynn Solomon, I just wanted to read it right away, and I'm so glad I did. This is one of the most unique stories I've ever read. It's sort of like Groundhog Day in a way, but also different. And I loved both the characters so much, and I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. I just think that, one, as cute as it was, there are better Rachel Lynn Solomon books, so I can't give it a 5 if I think that it's not one of her best books. As well, there was like a part of the ending that I really didn't like and I thought was unnecessary. Like, I don't want to spoil these books, but like there was a part that I was just like, I just thought it was a little unnecessary. So I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. Still really good. Still really, really recommend it. And I honestly don't think Rachel Lynn Solomon could do write a bad book. I don't think it would be possible. Then I continued in the Becker Brothers series with Neat. This was definitely better. I definitely liked this better than the first book because I just liked the characters better. And I thought the conflict in the book was a bit more realistic, but it sort of had the same thing at the end, which like didn't really get resolved again, and I just want this to be resolved, so I gave it 4.25 stars. But again, it was really cute, but I think I've read better books by Candy Steiner, so still really good. Then I listened to the audiobook of Olga Dies Dreaming. This was really cool story. Really, like, I was pulled in the whole time. Well, okay, it took a little while for me to get into the book because there was a lot of characters and there were a lot of like different plot points that like I was trying to follow, which I probably would have liked better if it wasn't on audiobook that I listened to it, but I did really like it still. I really loved Olga, even though she's a flawed character. But I just enjoyed the story. I don't know how else to describe it, but I enjoyed the story. I just didn't love it, and it took me a little while to get into it because I was confused at all the different characters and how they interconnected a little bit. But again, that's probably, if I had read it a physical copy book, I probably would have liked it a bit better. So I recommend not listening to the audiobook of this one, but reading the book. I gave it 4 stars. And last but not least, I read Heartstopper. I actually read the first one from my library on my Kobo, and I thought it was so cute that I had to buy all 4. I have all 4 here now. And I am excited for the 5th one to come out. So I expect the rest of them to be on my wrap up for October because I think this was so cute. I really was not expecting to like it because I just didn't think graphic novels were for me, but it's such a cute story, and I'm really excited to see what happens because left on a little bit of a hit cliffhanger. So I give this 4.75 stars because from what I've heard it gets better, so that's why I didn't give it a full 5 stars, but it was really, really close. I just love it. So if you're hesitant about this series, just try it. Just try it. I'm sure you'll like it. Okay, and that's all the books I read in September. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys read down in the comments below. I will see you in my next video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more like this, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye, guys.